A Hong Kong travel agency struggles to survive by turning itself into a grocery. Instead of trips, they sell food from overseas. Many others are shuttered. Because of the pandemic, border closure has made traveling almost impossible for over 2 years. However, the airport's departure terminal is getting busier. Since 2022, Hong Kong has seen a net outflow of 160,000 departures, a five-fold increase from last year. Many are foreign talents like John Wood, who left with his business after 8 years in Hong Kong.
I want to be able to have my son where he has the freedom to do simple things like go to the beach or walk around outdoors without a mask on. And as a global philanthropist, I want to have the freedom to travel around the world and raise my seed funding. And so for me, Hong Kong went from one of the most open, exciting cities in the world to being this thing that is closed and petrified, where the government's policies seem to change willy-nilly.
The final straw is Hong Kong's adherence to China's zero-COVID policy, prompting the toughest measures ever amid the Omicron outbreak. Not only individuals are voting with their feet, but also companies.
Companies have significant problems to refill positions, to attract talent to Hong Kong across industries. It's even reaching as far as financial services industry, which has usually been perceived as the most resilient part of it.
In the latest survey released by the European Chamber of Commerce, about half of the European companies in Hong Kong plan to relocate in the coming year. Only 17% will firmly stay. Hong Kong is actually a popular base for regional headquarters of foreign businesses. The exit of expats comes on top of the local brain drain triggered by political upheavals and a sweeping national security law.
When you wake up every morning and see that journalists are being arrested, that some newspaper publishers are being arrested, that there's no more freedom of assembly, no more freedom of speech, that hits me pretty hard. You can't subject the city-state to all this solitude. If you do, the cultural DNA and the intellectual DNA dies a slow death.
Flight bans and compulsory hotel quarantine have been slightly relaxed from April after backlash, but foreign businesses see it too little too late, as lacking a roadmap for reopening.
Companies have to search for alternate super connectors. We do here Singapore, Seoul, Tokyo. Hong Kong will not lose its status with regards to mainland China. Whether it will have the same role for Asia as one of the most important, not only financial center, but also business center within Asia, we'll have to see.
Hong Kong has always recovered from crisis over decades, but this time there is no guarantee.
Phoebe Kong brought us that report. She joins me now from Hong Kong. Hello there, Phoebe. Is this indeed just a crisis to be overcome? Or are we talking about Hong Kong's identity as the major Asian trading hub? Is that now changing before our eyes?
Well, let's remember Hong Kong has already undergone 3 unsettling years. First is the political upheavals, the protests, then the pandemic, and the zero-COVID policies. So Hong Kong is expecting a 1.6% GDP growth forecast this year, lagging behind most of its Asian peers in the region. And just recently, the head of the International Air Transport Association warned that Hong Kong is effectively off the map due to the stringent travel restrictions. So such damage has been done, and many fear that the damage would be permanent, if not irreversible.
To what extent does the government acknowledge this, and to what extent is it trying to reverse this course?
Well, after a severe backlash from the business community, the government did try to communicate with the business enterprises and the foreign community, and has lifted the flight bans from April and is planning to relax some of the domestic social distancing measures later this month. But the business community is saying that these measures are too little too late, as they haven't seen any roadmap or exit strategy to get them out of this limbo. And like for many businesses in Hong Kong, that such measures is not enough, that they fear that the measures would eventually put Hong Kong at the end of its international status.
All right, Phoebe Kong, DW correspondent in Hong Kong. Thank you very much.